Hey guys, what's up? It's Daniel. Welcome to another DanQ review. Today I'll be talking about Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, the 10-year anniversary of a game that started it all pretty much for many fans of this series. It's grown into something a lot larger than, I'm sure what they originally planned, and it's become a huge hit. And I gotta say, growing up, well, not growing up, but this was like the first game I really got into as a kid. Came out in 2001, and I probably played this from 10 until, I don't know how old. I played it for years, man, for like 3 years, not straight, but on and off I'd play it a lot. And I love the co-op of it. That was one of my favorite aspects. The co-op campaign was just so much fun to play with your friends. I played with my friends, my brother, a lot of people, and we played it over and over, and we had an equal amount of fun every single time. So when I heard they were doing an anniversary, I had to do it. I mean, I just had to pick this up. Now, I'll be doing this review a little bit differently from my other reviews. This game itself is nothing different. It's the same storyline, controls pretty much, same basic feel of Halo Combat Evolved, the original game. So what I'll be rating it on will be based on visual, content-wise, features, value, all that is factored into this review. So it's probably not going to be as lengthy as some of the other reviews, because honestly it is the same game redone, just for a visual effect. Now, first off, I'll start off. Halo is obviously it's always been Xbox exclusive, so any Halo game you see will be on Xbox 360. So, only Xbox 360 this game, and it is a first-person shooter developed by 343 Studios, which is the company that basically took over the Halo franchise from Bungie. Bungie was the original creator of this game, and it's published by Microsoft. Now, what do I really have to say about this game? What exactly do you think of when you think of an anniversary edition of the original Halo? You think they're going to be changing the quality of the gameplay for the times. Now, let's take a look here. What did they do? Did they really accomplish their goal? Yeah, I think they really did. Because what people were looking for is graphics. The main thing people looked at when they first saw Halo, they put it on. I'm like, I want to see I want the graphics of Halo redone. That's exactly what they did. The graphics are extremely good. Great difference. Actually, some of them were completely different. Like some you could tell they completely remodeled certain areas, certain weapons, vehicles, etc. to meet the needs of the new HD era. And I think they did that very well. It looks really good. Now, a few of the things that I also liked, something that a lot of people might consider kind of stupid, or what other people like to call copy and paste. This is different. This game does that in a way, because the game is exactly the same. It feels the same, it plays the same. Everything about it's the same. It hasn't been redesigned. The only thing that's been done is newer graphics, new features, etc. But that's the thing. With a game that's an anniversary, you don't want to make changes of the original game. So what I'd like to say is, this game does a great job at reminiscing, so to speak, keeping the classic. Because it did things that I remember from the original Halo that, they used the exact same audio tracks. So nothing was changed. They had the same tracks in there. Another thing I loved as well, they kept all the little glitches in there as well. Purpose glitches, some of them weren't intentional. Like, I actually remembered a lot of them, and I showed people in my playthrough, I showed them what I could do, like, for example, cutting through, like in the level 343 Guilty Spark, when you cut through, you can basically skip a big portion of the enemies in the plant scene, like the whole intro, by throwing a grenade out the back of your Pelican. You'll stay in the thing, and Full Hammer would take you up onto this mountain. You just get off and go around the shortcut, and you'd also find a couple Easter eggs there. Everything was saved. It was just done in HD, so you could really reminisce greatly in this game. So it kept it. It kept things that everybody loved about it, which I thought was really neat. Another thing I liked. Now, here's something I would like to say. Okay, if you guys have a Kinect, this game provides Kinect support. And I actually was not expecting it to have Kinect support. But I do have a Kinect. I don't use it often, but everyone's getting into the voice recognition. And when I saw that it had it, I had to try it out a few times. The idea is really cool. Like, a few times I could say flashlight on. The flashlight would turn on. I could say grenade. It would throw a grenade. You know, I could say things like pause game, resume game. I don't know, like, there was a new thing called where you could analyze things. So if you said analyze, and it would go into it, like your screen would change, and you could see every enemy, any point of interest. It would show you points of interest, and you could say scan, and it would scan it and tell you what it was, a little bit more info about it. It didn't do anything special, but something new that you could do. You know, I think they just kind of threw that in there. But you know, the controls feel great. You know, because they are the classic controls. I should have said that first, but the controls do feel really good. You know, because the thing is, I knew the Halo controls, so I felt comfortable going in there and saying, okay, you know, I'm good with these controls. I can definitely not have much trouble doing it. So with the controls being classic, it allowed me to play the game with ease, and that probably is what people like. The only people who are going to buy this game anyway are people who love the first Halo. If you never played the first Halo, you're not going to go buy this. So really, your target audience with this one are Halo fans from the original, and I am a fan of the original, which works for me. So anyway, going back to the Kinect, the Kinect was neat and all, but at times it got kind of annoying. Like sometimes, like with me doing my commentary, sometimes I say things like not even related to what the Kinect would tell. Like I would say something, and it wouldn't even be a command, but it would pick it up as a command. So I would say something and then it would pause the game. And I'm going to keep this game, this review clean, so I'm not going to say what I said to make the menu come up. But I could say it, and it would pop up every time, and I'd be like, that's another way of pausing. It was funny, but it was kind of a nuisance, because I like sometimes I would say things and I wouldn't say them. Like for example, I'd say a word, it'd sound like grenade, and it would throw a grenade and waste my grenade. So really the Kinect thing was a good idea, but it's kind of a nuisance at times. You know, it can be unneeded, and I know I can not use it, but at times it was cool, and I like to leave it on. So I mean, at the same time, you know, it's my fault for leaving it on, but at the same time, you know, they kind of put it in there, so you gotta use it for what it's used for. That's my prerogative on that. Now, with that being said as well, though, one of the other things you could do with the Kinect was really cool. You could do it on the controller as well. Actually, I shouldn't really put this as a Kinect thing. This game, I'd like to put it out, this game is 2 versions. HD, Classic. On the fly, you could switch versions of the game. So you could use the Kinect, or you could just hit the back button on the controller. You could say Classic, or hit the back button. It would switch to the original game. It would look exactly like the original in widescreen remastered. So it would be like an HD upscaling of the original game. And you can play the entire game in the classic mode of how everyone knew and loved it. Or you can say remastered to your Kinect, or just hit the back button again, and it'll put it back in the new version. And I thought that was a really nice addition, because honestly, I don't know where the hell my original Halo went. So if I wanted to play the original Halo story in classic mode the way it was originally meant to be played, I could do so with this game. So I could say, I have Halo Combat Evolved. I do. It's just the Anniversary Edition with a possible HD change. So I could say it, you know, and I can go classic mode. And a lot of people may like that. So really, are you getting what you pay for here? That's my next point. This game is excuse me, this game is $40. Now, a lot of the HD games are doing that, are making it a $40 price tag. It's not a full release, but it's a cheap one, you know what I mean? So, the thing is, I gotta compare content. You get the same story mode from the original Halo, just with HD graphics. You get Kinect functionality, and you can go classic mode on the fly. Also, you do get maps. It's just a map pack for Reach, which doesn't at all involve Halo Combat Evolved in any way. They're just a map pack. You can play, like there's an option to hit Halo Reach Anniversary Multiplayer, it'll make it seem like you're playing Reach. Like I selected it, I checked my recently played games, it said I played Reach. I haven't put Reach in months, so that's another thing. It's Reach. It doesn't qualify, so the multiplayer here doesn't exist. Now you can do co-op. The original multiplayer from the game, from the original game where you played on with your friends, like those original maps, are no longer in it, so you can just do a versus mode. But I don't think you'd really want to anyway. But on the classic thing, you know, the classic, what do you call it? The classic feel, the classic controls and whatnot, you can't do that for multiplayer. You have to use the Reach. You have to use Reach to do it. Which honestly, I didn't like Reach's multiplayer all that much, comparatively. So that being said, it's really just a single player game. So when you're not paying for multiplayer for this, in my opinion, because you can already re-download the anniversary maps, I believe. I'm not sure, and pay for them up front. So if you wanted them anyway, you could just do it without buying this whole game. So I think the price tag is a little more than it's worth. That's something I don't like about it. It should be more along the lines of $25 to $30 instead of $40, just because of that what it is. Because when you think about it, some games are $50 brand new. Not many, but some are. And I gotta say though, with Microsoft's track record, I know like what they did with ODST was a DLC, and they released it as a full retail. At least they didn't do that here, because this time they knew they weren't fooling anybody. So that is the negatives for it. So not many things to say about the game, but let's just recap real quick. They did a great job at making the graphics HD. The controls were really good. You know, the controls were classic. They were comfortable. You loved them. This game did a great job at allowing you to, you know, pay homage, I guess, to the classic game. They kept a lot of the things, allowing you to reminisce very well. You know, you were able to play the game as you were before, except more with an eye candy effect on it. And of course, the Kinect is a neat idea. It adds some neat functionality. And on the negative side, the Kinect isn't really needed. It can be a nuisance at times when you're trying to do something. You know, I mean, with me, it may be more of a nuisance than anybody else because I'm commenting, so I'm talking all the time. But still, you know, it's sensitive. Like I could say something else and it would pick it up as something completely different. And the price tag could be a little lower, even though it's just $40 for what you get. It should be a little lower. You know what I mean? So that's it for Halo Anniversary, Combat Evolved Anniversary. I don't really know what I want to give this game. Now I'm not rating it based on content, because if you're getting it based on what's been added to it, the features. So I can't rate this as a full game. I have to rate it differently. So out of 10, what am I rating Halo Anniversary? Should you get it? It's kind of a yes and no. Yes, if you were a fan of Halo 1, this is a must-buy. If you were not a fan of Halo, or anything like that, I'd probably give it a skip, because if you wanted to introduce yourself to the Halo universe and you've never before, go look in a bargain bin and go find Halo Combat Evolved. Honestly, they still sell them. Or you could find them somewhere, I'm sure you could, and just play that for the way it's originally meant to be played. This is just a reminiscing game for people who love the series and want to get back into it, you know, try it again, see what it's like. So, what do I want to give Halo? Chances are I'm not going to play it again, except for when I want to play the campaign of Halo 1 again. So it's kind of tough to rate this game. So, you know what? I'm going to give Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary a 7.75. Not a bad score, but it is like the same game in a sense, just HD-defied, or whatever you want to call it. So nothing over the top, but it is a must-buy if you are a fan of the original Halo. I'm glad I made this purchase. It was a cheaper game. It allowed me to play the game in HD. There is also the co-op functionality. I never got a chance to do it. But if a friend ever comes over and we want to reminisce once again, we can pop in Halo, play it in Classic or HD, which I thought was a really, really cool feature, and enjoy it. So, Halo Anniversary is getting 7.75. Not a bad score at all. Like I said, if you're a fan of Halo 1, you'll like it. If you've never played Halo 1 or you weren't a fan of it, you won't like it. Plain and simple. So that's the review for Halo Anniversary, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it allowed you to make your decision. Thanks everyone for watching this review, and I'll see you guys later.